Hi everyone, welcome back to Black Hole Sun Podcast Afterthought, where we talk about the podcast that I have, Black Hole Sun. Usually it is, well, definitely, it's an episode that's already been released a couple of weeks in advance, and we talk about anything maybe I may have missed, maybe any questions anybody had. Sometimes I just give a rundown because I feel like some people don't like to listen to podcasts. So you can come here to my YouTube channel and listen and watch this video. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, turn on the notification button so you can get notifications when I post. And yeah, so this one, here's the thing about this one. So we're going to talk about They Live, which is a John Carpenter movie from 1988. And I just want to put out a big disclaimer because lately, because of the political climate in the United States, people have been posting, they've been posting political things to different pages that have nothing to do with political parties. So if you're one of those people who are coming here to talk about your party or talk about how you're impressed for no goddamn reason, please don't, because you're going to get deleted. We're just having fun here. No big brain thinking, no conspiracy theories. We do conspiracy theories here, more about aliens, less about the government, less about certain government things, I should say. We have fun here, you know, and yeah, so They Lived is about this man. His name is Nada. He's played by the iconic wrestler Roddy Piper. If you are of a certain age and a certain generation, you remember him. He was in the same kind of time frame as Hulk Hogan, so you definitely know him. So Nada is kind of a drifter, kind of an everyday man. I mean, you can hear his name Nada, which means nothing in Spanish. He's just some regular guy. So he comes to Los Angeles and he's looking for work. I guess, from my understanding in the movie, he lost his job and he's just looking for work. He's just a drifter. He's got everything on his back, in his backpack. So he finds this construction site and he gets work there. And then he meets up with a guy there who, you know, ends up finding him a place to stay, which is actually like a lot with tents and stuff, and they serve food and stuff there, which is really common in Los Angeles. I lived there for 3 years, and there's a lot of homelessness and a lot of little towns where people just pop their tents and they try to just live, you know. So he goes to this I don't know if I can call it a commune, but it's a spot where he's staying and they're feeding him. So one day he notices that the church across the street, there's always like a choir playing or whatever, but he goes the one day and he realizes, he starts snooping around and he notices that there isn't a choir and that they're playing this loud music, this tape, to cover up some sort of rebellion that's going on. While he's in the back, he discovers these black glasses, and doesn't think anything of it. So then he runs out and apparently the place gets raided. The place gets raided and the camp gets raided. So he runs off and it's like this crazy scene. So then he goes back to the church, just to look around, and he opens this secret panel and he finds a box of those glasses again. So he just like takes one, you know, why not? As he's walking around the city, he puts on the glasses and he notices that the glasses have some sort of ability where he can see the true nature of the advertisement. And in that, you know, in the advertisement you see like obey and things that are like subliminal that make you want to like buy more and stuff like that. And he also notices that some of the people that he's looking at are aliens. Like with these glasses on, he sees that they're aliens. So obviously these glasses are some sort of truth-telling kind of device. So the person who made this movie is John Carpenter. If you know anything about John Carpenter, he makes phenomenal movies. He's one of my favorite horror directors. This is considered horror action. A lot of his stuff is very socially driven. Where people get it incorrect is it's a movie that's against capitalism, consumerism. He's very against that. People always just hyper focus on the controlling part, which is not necessarily all he's talking about. He's talking about people just caring more about material things and capitalism and buying garbage than anything else, and they'd rather be in this rat race just to make money to buy stuff. And that's what I gotten from the interviews he said. There's a lot of people out there that have different kind of definitions for this. There's they're using this movie, like I said earlier, a lot of political people are talking about how this movie is, we're being controlled, we're mind control. Yeah, okay. So there is a level of control. I agree with that. But, people are very paranoid lately. And I think that what's missing in this whole situation, people being controlled, is education. And I think that kind of rings true in this movie too, even though everybody here, like this guy, he does a regular job, he's just trying to make his money, and people want to be materialistic. I think education is a big thing. I think people care more about money than they do about being educated and really knowing what's true, and also knowing how to do research. That's really important. I think that people will kind of glaze over the information and not really read. Like when I read something, I'm like, this doesn't sound right, and kind of see who they cited and like footnotes and see where they got the information and go further. And I think that's important to know when something is actual factual news and when it's just an op piece in someone's opinion. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. And I think with this movie, people want to just see, they see it like aliens taking over and trying to control us, when John Carpenter, his biggest message in this movie is capitalism is a bitch, and capitalism is what's really controlling us. People's love of money is what's controlling them, not some alien beings. The aliens kind of represent, there's that whole like fat cat, rich people eat the rich kind of message too in this, and I think people have ignored that too. A lot of times when people have conspiracy theories and all sorts of things, the message isn't as deep as people want to make it. It's actually kind of simple, if you think about it. And I think that I hope people kind of really do their research and just not take things for face value and do the work. I think there's a lot of laziness in the world, and people just kind of like, well, it is what it is. And they rather believe in conspiracy theory than actually like, I wonder where this came from. Let me do my research. And a lot of times I've noticed that a lot of people who are sort of dishing out these conspiracies, 9 out of 10 times, they don't know what the hell they're talking about either. So I personally wouldn't want to follow someone blindly because they're saying something that I want to hear. Sometimes it sucks to do research and hear stuff that you don't want to hear, but it's also good to really like not kind of like take things for face value and really know how to do research, really know that this is someone's opinion about something and it's not truthful facts. How to read a journal. I myself have had some of my work when I was in college published in a journal, and it's totally different than something that's an op piece. When it's a journal or some sort of research, there's always at the bottom or in the actual journal the information of where it came from. Also, references in the article will tell you where the original, it's usually the footnotes somewhere in the article, Also, learning how to read charts and graphs and reading these journals seems to be a problem too. I've seen people like post stuff and say, here, this is telling me, this is backing up my facts. And then when you go in and you read it, you're like, no, actually it doesn't. It doesn't. If you read it, actually read it, you would have understood that this does not agree with you at all. But okay. So for me, going back to the movie, sorry I went on a tantrum. They lived, I remember watching it as a kid, not understanding it, but now I actually watched it again, and I really understood that, yeah, the system is fucked up. And also, if you look at it, there is an underlying theme of systematic oppression, systematic racism, because the people who live in this lot, they're Latino and Black, and just poor white people who are just trying to really get by. And there's all that. His message is a lot deeper than what people want to kind of realize. And John Carpenter has been very vocal about that. Like, a lot of his movies have a deeper meaning, and you really have to think about it. It's for you to think about. It's not for you to just be like, oh, so there's like people controlling us and that's it. Like, there's more to it. There's more to it. And unfortunately, I feel like I used to consider myself a conspiracy theorist, but lately, with things going on, I feel like, I don't know, people are taking it to the extreme, to a place that's like dangerous, and there's a lot of misinformation, and I don't like that. Things like this movie in 1984 talk about what will happen if you don't open your mind and really educate yourself. I think the most important thing is education, and not worshiping the almighty dollar, and just being, just understanding what's going on, and not taking anything for face value, of course, but in a way where you really do. I think there's so much misinformation out there, and so many people don't know how to. People are very scared and very paranoid, and I think that it's unfortunate. I think people need to understand. And, when watching things like this, it's not saying that there is subliminal messages in mass media, but it's also saying, it's not saying it's wrong, it's fake. It's talking about really just, I don't know, really understanding who you are, and understanding that don't be so gullible, and fall for everything. Really put your time into it, and really, really understand things. I think the bottom line for me with this movie and anything else is education is key. We all need to learn the difference between news and op pieces, and what is leaning to one party and leaning to another party, or what's neutral. Non-biased news sources are important. I think that a lot of people don't understand that. People tend to just believe what they see, and I think that this movie stands the test of time. Even today, it really does have an impactful message about how people are asleep. Basically, people are asleep, and I've heard people say people are asleep, but not for the reasons that are critical. Like, people are asleep about what's going on. Yeah, people are asleep to the fact that they don't know how to do their research, and are believing anything anybody puts out there. Like, just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean it's real. And so, this is my opinion, and I'm allowed to say it as much as you are. So it is what it is. If you have a chance, I would suggest watching this movie, They Lived. It's got a great message. I think that John Carpenter is a very underrated director. A lot of his work is fantastic. I've enjoyed it a lot. I own this movie. And yeah, so let me know below what your thoughts are. Be kind. You don't need fights. Like, I honest to God just want you to, like, if you're coming here and you don't agree with me, please be respectful. I can't believe I have to say that to adults, but yes, be respectful. You have the right to disagree with me, of course, but don't be a jerk. I'd love to know if anybody's seen this movie, what you think, what your thoughts. Please like and subscribe, and turn on the notification. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.